Hello, everyone. Welcome to a live session. Today is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Welcome to the session about the discussion on how to meet your full potential, how to meet your full potential. This topic has really resonated me recently because I noticed that there were things happen in my life where I had to step up to meet my full potential, to move things forward and along, especially with my AI tech Chinese medicine company. And so, because it's something that I've been doing actively to step up to meet my full potential, the topic really resonated with me, and therefore I wanted to share this topic with you because I think that most of us live, I probably 99% of us live without meeting our full potential or meeting at least 70 or 80% of our potential because our potential is really infinite. And when I see people's lives and when people reach out to me for support, it's because they're reaching out because they haven't met their potential, and we can always seek guidance and help and coaching and all, and that's very, very valuable. But the thing is that if we all met our real potential, we wouldn't need the business coach and the life coaches, right? And even we wouldn't need Moon Cho, to help. So the reason why I am had to step up even more to meet my full potential is because when you're building an AI health tech company, there's so many moving parts and there's challenges, and we're turning Chinese medicine into AI technology, so you can only imagine how complicated and profound that is. And let me tell you, the people around me are geniuses. I surround myself with people who are far smarter than me, and that's how you build. But so I realized that as the leader of this company, I had to step up. I had to step up at another level to meet my full potential. Hi, Heidi. How are you? How are you? I'm so glad to see you. And so this is the topic that we're going to be discussing today is how to meet your full potential and to recognize when we're not really meeting our full potential and really meeting our purpose, the real purpose of what we're here to do. And when we're not really embodying that purpose, we're not meeting that full potential. And so I'm going to go through all of those things, what it means to be the real you, what it means to be the masked you or the fake you, and those two personas that are kind of in conflict with each other, that creates a lot of stress, anxiety, and things like that, and confusion about you and your purpose. And when you don't embody that purpose of what your human design is, what you're designed to do naturally, organically in this life, then you're not meeting your full potential. So I'll go through all of that. And I've been doing a lot of meditation around this, and so that I can meet my full potential. And I've been doing a lot of meditations and mantras every morning. I do my meditation, I write, I journal, I message to myself, I ask the universe for messages. So this is something that I am actively stepping up in my own life, and that's why I want to share with you. So let's clear the energy of the room and then let's get started. Just relax, breathe naturally, and be present in the now. Dear God, angel, spirit guide, descended masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space on the topic of how to meet our full potential. Thank you so much for being able to channel your words, phrases, messages, wisdoms, and guidance to be able to put forth this message so that every soul in this room can meet their full potential to what they were really born to do, to their natural talents and gifts, and what they were really born to do as their purpose, and to really embody that to meet their full potential. So thank you so much for also removing low frequency energies that do not serve the highest and best interests of the sacred space, and our conversations and the engagement that we have each other on this topic. And thank you so much for blessing this sacred space and looking over it and being here with us to allow us to engage with beautiful conversations and beautiful energies to share and learn from each other. So thank you also, especially for allowing this sacred space and this session to move through with flow, with peace and serenity. And so it is. Hi, Ella. Hi, Elsie. How are you? Hi, Tony. Good day to all of you. Okay, and again, if you have any questions or any profound comments that you would like to make and contribute to this conversation, please do so. I really encourage you to do so. So, when we meet our full potential, it means to really meet the purpose of why we are really here, why our souls have come into this body and this time space reality is really to fulfill a purpose that we were born to do. And when you're on that purpose, which is really your soul's journey and your soul's path, you are basically on the full potential. You're meeting that full potential. And all that material stuff, like the house or the money, whatever, that stuff comes as a byproduct. So what we really want to focus on is the purpose of why we came into this space and what our human design is. What is the purpose of our human design is really your energetic blueprint. So it's in human design, it's the two factors matter: the day that you were born and 88 days prior to when you were born. Those two dates are the key markers for your human design. And your human design is really your energetic blueprint. What you're designed to do here to fulfill a purpose. And when you are fulfilling that purpose, you're meeting your highest potential and your full potential. And so very few of us, if you look at the world or even your friends and family, how many of your friends and family can you say are truly on their higher purpose? Are they just going to work to get a salary to support their families? And I'm not poo-pooing any of that because it's so important. Like somebody's got to go to work, feed, pay the bills, right? Right? To take care of the children, right? Or take care of other family members or maybe their parents, whatever. So I'm not belittling that at all. But the thing is this, is that a lot of the people that are doing that are not understanding what their human design is, not understanding what their real purpose is, and therefore not really meeting their full potential. And so when you're not meeting your full potential, there's kind of like this two, two, two sides to you. There's the side that you present to society. I call it the masked side, the side that's masked, that has a mask on. And then there's the side to you that is real and authentic. That side to you is your energetic blueprint, how God created you. And often this masked side and this authentic side is in conflict with each other. It's butting heads. And the reason why it's butting heads is because the mask side to each one of us is trying to please society, is trying to please the people around us, is trying to please the family, the friends, and society. Society says this, and so I should be this. Society says that, so I should do this. Society says this, so I should say that. But the other part of you, let's call it the yin and yang side of you. The yang side of you is the mask side of you, and the yin side of you is your human design. What you were here to do and born to do. What was your real purpose of why you're here? So the yin side is saying, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm putting on this mask for society, and and think about how much like stress that would cause somebody, or confusion or anxiety, because you're not really, the deepest part of you know that you are not doing what you're meant to do, what your human design is, what you were born to do. it's not really fulfilling that. And therefore, you're not fulfilling your purpose. And therefore, you're not fulfilling your highest potential. Because oftentimes, those two things are in conflict, they're butting heads. The mask side and the side that is the true, real you that you were designed to do. And so as we move through life and we're presenting this mask side where, we might be posting things on social media that make us look like we have this fabulous life, or we have a home that we're trying to show off to somebody, or a car that we're trying to show off to somebody, that now, oh, if I had this and I have this and I should put it on, post it on social media, that means I'm worthy. That means I am unconditionally loved. That means I am good enough. But the other part of you, that real authentic part of you, the part of you that were designed, is saying, no, that's not really you. That's not really me. It's not really who I am. I'm putting on a face. I'm putting on a show. I'm putting on a PR here. And so oftentimes, a lot of us are living with that conflict. Those two things are conflicting with each other. And so, what it is when we have this conflict, it creates a lot of confusion, it creates anxiety, it creates stress, it creates even depression, because there's this conflict that's not really who you are, but you're putting on this farce, you're putting up a front. And so, you're trying to live a life where you would be accepted by society so that you could feel superficially worthy or good enough, right? And so that's kind of like what I see when with a lot of us, that we're trying to put up a front, that this is the side. If we could just behave this way and put up this kind of masked self and we present it to society, then society accepts us and we're good enough and we're worthy. And that's what we really want to feel, right? We all want to feel unconditionally worthy and we want to feel unconditionally loved. That's really it. At the end of the day, those are the two things that we really want. All of us. They're very basic tenets of meaning, of fulfillment, of happiness, of peace, serenity, is to feel unconditionally worthy and unconditionally loved. Because this entire universe, the energy of the universe, including you and the entire universe, is really made up of love energy. So without love energy, there is no you, there is no universe, there is no creation, there is no plants, there is no tree, there is no ocean, there's no moon. Because it's that high frequency energy that I call love is what creates everything. And the I Ching, the first I Ching number is creation. Why is the I Ching number one? Because creation is the foundation for building, for innovating. And all that you see in the universe, including you and your body and who you are, is born out of that I Ching creation energy. And that creation energy only happens at the highest frequency. And that highest frequency is love. And so we are really love, right? We are made up of love energy. And that's why we want to feel unconditionally loved. And we know the part of us that is our soul, our higher self, the other part of us that is real is unconditional love. And so we're putting on this mask for society saying that we're this and I'm that. And we're putting things on social media to make us feel superficially worthy. That is why there's such a conflict, because your soul knows exactly that you are already worthy. But your masked self is trying to prove something, is trying to chase something that you're not. And so those things start to butt. And that's why when you see people who are successful, you see people who might have, you seem like they have a lot of money, they seem to have a lot of friends, they seem to have this, why is there such a high rate of divorce? Why there's such a high rate of alcoholism, drug taking, all these things? I see a lot of rich people that have lots of unhappiness, lots of unhappiness. Why is that? If they seem to have everything, they seem to have the house, the money, the husband, whatever. Why? is there such high levels of divorce and such unhappiness among that group of people? It's because there's just like this butting head of what you're supposed to show, that farce, and trying to conform to something that you're really not, that your soul knows already who you are. Your soul already knows the essence of you and the purpose of you. But when that's butting head with the farce side of you, that's going to create the unhappiness, frustration, anxiety, stress, confusion, chaos. And so what it is this is that when we start to embody, let go of that farce, let go of that mask part of us, when we start to just let it go and release it, and it feels extremely uncomfortable when you do it. It feels like your body, your mind is so resisting against it. Why? Because the mind and the body wants to default to the familiar because it's always trying to protect us. So the mind and the body is trying to always default to the familiar, the familiar, the familiar, which is I have to conform. I have to show that I'm fabulous. I have to post this on social media that I am worthy, right? It's got to conform to that because you've trained yourself. You've trained that masked part of you to the default setting of how you live, how you show up to the world. And so once you decide that, you know what, I'm going to let that part of me go, that masked part of me go, there's so much resistance within you. The resistance is so high. The resistance of like, I'm going to go back. It's like an alcoholic. You know, when the alcoholic stops taking alcohol, there's so much resistance in the alcoholic or drug addict, right? It's like your body's revolting. There's this resistance to it. Resistance, 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 which is the reason why we go back, which is the why we return to the alcohol, we return to the drugs, or even eating. If we're overeating and we're and that makes us feel like safe, and it's the familiar. And when we stop eating, the body's like, no, go back to eating that chocolate cake, eating this, eating that, right? There's this massive resistance. That's why we fall back easily to the familiar because the mind, the subconscious mind, and every cell in your body knows the familiar. And so it's safe to be with the familiar than the unfamiliar, right? And so we revert back. When we're trying to shed the skin, like a snake shedding its skin, and return home to the purpose of why we're here, return home to our infinite part of why we are here, the infinite potential, and return home to the infinite potential and meet that infinite potential because that is really the essence of you. There's this massive resistance because we're so familiar with the part of us that is not really who we are. And so oftentimes it takes so much strength, so much energy to not return to the familiar. And that's where the work is to release that part of who you are not, what you're presenting to society, but it's not really you. And it's not really your human design. It's not really aligned with your purpose. It's not really aligned with your soul's journey. And that resistance comes at the highest level. And this is why it's so hard to make that transition and change and step up to that next level of meeting your full potential. Now, as you're shedding the skin, the snake skin, and you're embodying who you are, you're embodying that part of you that already knows what your purpose is, that already knows what your human design is, that already knows what your talents and gifts are, that already knows why you're here. Once you start to embody that, everything changes. Everything changes energetically. Because the universe, you become a powerful magnet and attractor. So when you start to embrace that part of you and you let go of this part that everybody's looking at, the society's looking at, that you're looking to get a validation from the external world. When you let go of that part of you and with a lot of resistance and you stay on that course and you let it go, you let it go, you let it go because you're practicing, you're going to level up. You're not going to give up on yourself. No matter how hard it is, you're not going to give up on yourself. You're going to let that part go. You are now literally embodying who you were meant to be. Embodying, which means that you're not chasing after anything. You're not seeking your purpose. You are your purpose. You're not trying to find who you are. You are who you are. You're not trying to chase after anything. You already embody it. So you're not going out and taking a million steps and trying to seek and chase and find and take a million actions that often will lead to nowhere because you've literally embodied the deepest part of you. You've embodied your human design. You've embodied your purpose. And when you've embodied that purpose, it's a state of being that is so powerful, you will attract. You won't have to chase. You won't have to seek. You won't have to find. If you're saying to Moon, I'm looking for my purpose. When you embody you, the purpose will come to you. When you embody your human design, money will come to you. When you embody who you are, all of those cooperative things just come to you. You're not going to chase it. You're not going to seek it. You're not going to find it. Does that mean that you're not going to take any action? No, of course. You're going to take inspired action. And you're going to take far less action because you're so embodied. Things are coming to you. You're going to just attract people and situations that you never even thought of before. You're like, oh my God, it's just coming to me. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. And at one point, it might feel so overwhelming because you've embodied, and that's another issue. When so much is coming to you, it could feel so overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, do I really deserve? Oh my God, am I good? You might start to question whether you're good enough because it's so overwhelming. But that's how powerful you are. The thing is that we don't understand. You don't understand. And each one of us, we don't really understand how each one of us is so powerful because we've been so conditioned that mask part of us, the part of us that we try to present to the world, to conform to the world, that part of us is so fabricated that when we try to what was I going to say? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. I cannot believe this. This is the first time I lost my train of thought. When you present that fabricated part of you, you are not tapping into the part of you that is already powerful. And it masks that power. And when it masks that power, you can't access your power. You cannot access it. And you cannot understand how powerful. You cannot feel it. You will feel when you let that part of you go, that is playing games, that is being fake, that is trying to please society, and you completely embody your human design. You will feel the power of who you are is quiet, it's silent, but it's powerful. All things come to you. And in that state, you are meeting your full potential. You're not chasing your potential. You are your potential. You embody your potential. You're not seeking your potential. You embody it. And once you embody it, you've collapsed the quantum field of infinite possibilities. So all things come to you. All things come to you. All things come to you. You become a great attractor. You become a great magnet. So this is really about remembering who you are and letting go of that part of you that is not really you. Letting that go, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much resistance there is, because there's going to be resistance. Your mind is, and your every cell in your body is going to say, no, 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 don't let me go. That fake part of you is going to say, don't let me go. Stay, stay, stay. And a lot of people will return to that part because it's so much easier to give in than to say no. You can't, you cannot come back. You cannot return. And so when you let that go and you start to remember who you really are, you when you remember that your every cell in your body embodies that electromagnetic signal that you're sending out to the universe is such a high frequency. It's the frequency like here. It is so high that all things must come. It's like you're collapsing that quantum field of possibilities because the universe is only inclusive, it is not exclusive. The universe only meets you where you're at. And so you're not chasing your purpose. You're not chasing your dreams. You're not chasing money. You're not chasing or finding or seeking things. You embody. And once you embody and you exist in that state right here, right now, you attract, 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 attract. That's how you level up. That's how you meet you. And that purpose, and you know, because when you are embody that, you know what the purpose is. There's no way you cannot know. That purpose will be falling right on your lap. And so I want to show you, I want to take a little break and then take some questions that you might have on the topic. And I'm going to show you what exercises I've been doing, what practical things I've been doing to be able to understand that purpose of what my human design is, why what the real purpose of why I'm here, and how I'm going about embracing that, embodying that, and letting go of that part of me that is trying to conform to the external world. Okay, let me see if there's any questions here. Hi, Tony. How are you? Hi, Ella. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Over here, it's close to midnight. Oh, it's close to midnight there. Wow. You live in another part of the world or you're traveling. Ella, thank you. Elsie says, that's me. I'm always taking care of my family. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I mean, the thing is, it's not that you can't take care of your family. It's that you can still embody who you are and take care of other people, but you can't do it to the point where you're not being honored or you're just spread thin and you're stretched thin, where you're not coming back to yourself and coming home to your soul. Because think about it, Elsie, if you really embodied and met your true potential, think about all the resources that would come to you that would help you to be able to take care of your family even better, whether it's money resources or people resources. Because if you embody it and you really truly embody your you met your high potential, your full potential, all those resources will come to you to be able to take care of your family better. So it's not to say that you should abandon your family, you should never abandon your family, but there needs to be some healthy boundaries where you can still return home to your soul so that you can spend time alone to meet your full potential. There's got to be some balance there, Elsie. But I so honor you for taking care of your family. I think it is a beautiful thing. Ava says, hi there, Moon. I've always been sensitive, but now I got my second burnout in 4 years' time. I feel so stuck in the Netherlands and my living environment, overstimulated, but feeling stuck to change. I understand. Okay. What one of the things that you're experiencing, Ava, and Netherlands is a beautiful, beautiful country. I look at videos of Amsterdam, what a beautiful place, and all the canals and everything. What it is that you've created because you've been living this life, for some years, you've created a momentum and you've trained every cell, every tissue, every cell, your subconscious mind to this way of being. It's a way of being that your subconscious mind is used to. Every cell in your body is used to it. And remember, I said before that when you try to shed that, there's so much resistance to it. There's so much resistance to shedding that part of you that no longer serves you. And easily, because there's so much resistance, your body, your mind is saying, no, no, don't let me go, don't let me go, because it's the familiar. That's why we easily return to our habits, to the old state of being. And that's what's going on with you, is that you said, I have a second burnout in 4 years' time, because that 4 years' time was building more momentum, training your subconscious mind and every cell in your body to be in that state of being. And so every time there's a resistance to it, like if there's a resistance to shedding that, it's like a boomer. It's just, you go back to it because it's easier. Because it's so hard, because there's a lot of confusion. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much resistance, and your subconscious mind, every cell in your body is like, no, don't let me go. Don't let me go. I want to stay. I want to stay. I want to stay. And that's what's happening. And then over the years, there's a certain, because it becomes more familiar, more familiar, more familiar, right? So then it gets harder to live in your state of natural being, of who you really are, and your state of natural purpose of who you are. It gets harder and harder. And that's why this work is, I mean, there are times when I'm training all day. I'm training my mind all day. I'm training my mind all day. I absolutely have to do it in the morning, but I'm in the dishwasher and I'm training my mind. I'm, taking a walk, training I'm in the car driving and training my mind. It takes work. It takes, because that resistance is what you're feeling. Because it's so, the familiar, it's so easy to return to the familiar. It's much easy to return to the familiar than to completely shed that and really embody your human design, your purpose. That's what's going on there, Ava. There's resistance. And then you just get so tired, because it's like, oh, I'm so tired of resisting. I'm just going to go back, right? It's like you feel like, I'm so tired. I'm just going to return. And that's what's going on there, Ava. I have so much, trust me, I get it. I go through the same thing. There are habits that I'm still working on shedding. There are things that I'm still working on shedding. But I'm doing it bit by bit. I'm doing a little bit every day, a little bit every day. Every day, if I make a little progress, I'm happy. I'm happy, because that little progress each day, even 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, it's quite a bit of progress. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year. Think about where you would be. So all of that you're experiencing is this resistance. Tony, I'm glad that this resonates with you. Heidi says, I've always told my kids that true happiness can only come from within. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the ultimate happiness, is the reason why we want the material things, like we want the car so that we could feel internally happy. We want the relationship so we can internally feel happy. We want the home or the money because we could feel internally. All of those things is to make us feel happy in here, right? But those are superficial ways of reaching happiness. Because just because you have a fancy car, for 6 months from now, who cares about that fancy car, right? It's old. You don't care. Material things just, and it doesn't mean that you can't have nice things, but that's not where it's not going to necessarily fulfill our internal happiness for the long term, for the soul's expansion and growth. It's about the soul. And it's about the purpose of that soul here. And when you embody that and you're on that soul's journey, you're on your purpose and you've met your highest potential. Okay, so I'm glad, oh, Ella, I'm glad you understood. Thank you so much. Go within and remember who you really are. Absolutely, Heidi. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see what other things that Ella says. Sometimes I am not confident in that version of me and whether she is enough to attract abundance. That's it, Ella. You just answered your question. You just figured it out. You and so many people. Because the reason why is because our minds are so conditioned by society, right? Everyone around us, whether it's our family, our friends, or society at large, says, you're worthy because you have this much money. You are worthy because you look like this. You are worthy because you have this job. You are worthy because you have this home. You are worthy because of this. You are because of this, right? So if we're absorbing all of that from society, how can we really embody who we really are? How can we really embody our own full potential, our own power that is God given? Who we really are, the powerful being that you really, how can you embody that, right? That's going to be very difficult to do that when everybody's saying and our brain is so conditioned, it's so programmed that we have to please other people to be worthy. We have to get validation from the external world to be worthy, right? That's how we're programmed. So if we're so programmed into that, how can we embody and remember who we really are? It's already there. All of your power is there already. You've got to connect with it, access it, and let that shine and embody it. What's right now, it's that farcical part of us, that mass part of us that's hiding that. That's hiding that truth. It's doing something like this. And so if it's hiding who you really are, this farcical side, this is who you really are. It's like masking it. So how can this part shine? How can this part broadcast to the universe? It can't because this is preventing it. This is blocking it. So once you let this go, this is now shining. This is now being embodied. This is being broadcast to the universe. This is the signal that you're broadcasting. And when you broadcast the signal, you don't chase, you attract. You don't seek, you're a magnet. You don't find, it finds you. That's the point here. And this is where you meet your full potential. Your full potential is already met. It's already here. It's like we've got to get rid of this layer for this to come out and this to be embodied. And there's so much resistance when you're trying to let go of this part. The resistance is it's so resistant. Like it doesn't want, it's like a super glue, right? Like, those crazy super glues. It's like this. It doesn't want to go. It's like you're trying to release it, right? And it's like, no, 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 because that's who I am. That's who I am. Because society says this is who I am. And you're like this. And that's what's happening. That resistance is the part that we have to work on. We have to work on it. So at least if we have an awareness of it, we can work on it every day to let go of that, to let go of that, to let go of that bit by bit every day. It's not going to, I have not seen one person that just let it go overnight. I haven't seen it. I mean, if there is somebody like that, please introduce me to that person. Please introduce me to that person. But it's literally the work of letting go a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And that's the work that we work on every single day. Um, oh, Tony, I'm so glad. Okay, so let's see. So it's a full-time occupation to work on ourselves. Look, Ava, I don't want you. That is, Ava, you know what? Thank you for pointing that out. I work on myself a lot, but I don't, if I go to, let's say, an event or a party, I'm not working on myself. If there's some social thing that I'm going to, I'm not monitoring like crazy, right? I'm just going to enjoy that social event. What I'm saying is any opportunity that I get to be able to work on myself, I use it. But if I'm at an event or something else, I'm going to be focused on that event. I'm going to be focused on that thing, the power of now. I'm not going to be focused on like mantraing, do all this stuff. I make time in the morning. I take about almost an hour to do my meditation, to do my embodiment, to write messages to myself, to ask for messages from the divine. And then throughout the day, if I'm walking, right, I can certainly embrace myself, right? I can certainly do mantras that allow me to embody who I am. If I'm doing the dishes, right, I could do mantras that embody myself, right? So I'm not saying that you do it everywhere. I mean, if you're in a business meeting, right, or if you're in a meeting at your work with your coworkers and your boss, you're not going to be doing it at that time. You're going to be fully present with that task at hand, right? So there's lots of opportunities to do this, but you have to remember to be consistent and do it every day. That's what we're saying. But and it's a great point. It's a great point. You're like, oh my God, Moon, this is a full occupation. And so that's what I'm saying. Okay, so Tony asks, how can I remember what my purpose is here after raising children and now I'm retired? Doing a lot of spiritual meditation and researching. This is a great topic for me today. Much gratitude. Okay. So, Tony, if you were in here before, a little bit before, then that's a great question. Oh, I think you answered my question, embodiment. Yes, that's it, Tony. You are a genius. You are a genius because you got it. You're just remembering who you are. You're not trying to create who you are. You're remembering your human design was already created. It was there. It was there all the time. You're just remembering. You're remembering by actively saying, I'm going to access that part of me. I'm going to access it and I'm going to feel it. I'm going to embody it. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to find. I'm not going to seek. I am going to be. And when I be, the purpose finds me. The money finds me. The absolutely fabulous people find me. The career finds me. When you embody you and remember you, everything finds you. You're not chasing. You're not seeking. You're not taking a million actions. The action, and when you do take action, it's going to be inspired. There's going to be meaning to it. It's not going to be just throwing things against the wall, hoping that something will stick. It's not going to be like that. And so, hi from girl to woman with Tamara Wright. Hi, Tamara Wright. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Okay, so let me go through kind of the exercise that I've been doing to really embody who I am and step up to meeting my full potential at a different level. Is that what I do is that I was journaling. What is my, I was journaling with meditation. So in my meditation, I imagined, where would I feel the most free? What state would I feel the most free? What state would I feel just pure freedom, like unencumbered freedom? Because freedom is what we all want to feel. And freedom is when we are meeting our highest potential. When we feel absolute freedom, that's when we meet our highest potential. I mean, seriously, that's when we meet our highest potential. So I'm imagining, where in my meditation, I'm imagining, where am I that I feel absolutely free? And I see myself on the peak of the Himalayan mountains, just sitting there, and I am broadcasting the highest frequency that there is. I am just broadcasting it to the universe. Whoosh, 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 right on the peak of the Himalayan mountains. I am there just broadcasting it. And there is nothing that is encumbering me. That is when I feel so free. I feel like I could trust. I have faith. I have freedom. Nobody's going to stop. And I'm just broadcasting this high frequency. And I am just embodying, because I'm remembering my human design. I'm remembering who I really am. I'm remembering my full potential. I'm remembering it. So when get into a meditation where, what would it be for you? Maybe for somebody, it might be like doing skydiving, jumping off the mountains. And skydiving is when you feel, in what situation would you feel the most free? In what situation would you feel the most free? Get to that. Get to that space. And after that, I started journaling. Any words I said, what is my purpose? Any thoughts and things that came out, I started writing it down. Like just writing down whatever comes comes to mind. Stream of consciousness, thoughts, words, phrases, doesn't matter. And then I was writing, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? I'm trying to remember who I am. So I have to remember who I am to understand my purpose. I have to understand who I am to remember my purpose. And I remember the word alchemist came. That word alchemist. And it was like, boom, that's it, Moon. That's your purpose. What does an alchemist do? They take something that is lower frequency and transmute it and alchemize it to a higher frequency. And I said to myself, wow, everything that I've been doing, even this live session with you, is to alchemize, help you alchemize to your full potential, right? So when you're meeting your full potential, you're alchemizing, and I'm here to empower you to alchemize to your full potential. And that alchemy was what I said, that's my purpose. Whatever it is that I do, it's my purpose to alchemize. That is the human design and gift that I was given. And so even with my AI health tech company for Chinese medicine, I'm alchemizing it. I'm taking a 5,000-year-old system and I'm transmuting it to a different frequency with AI technology. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's alchemization. So, and here when I go and do my blog through Yin Yang Living, I'm helping you. I'm empowering you to alchemize. So I realized that that was my purpose. And if I can embody that alchemist energy, and so then I figured out, okay, I went back into meditation. So how would I feel if I had the alchemized energy? What would I look like? What would be my state of being? What would happen? I say I would have a foundation called the Alchemist Foundation. And this foundation would give away money to support youth, to empower them to alchemize their life by creating, building, empowering the youth to see their full potential. I said, yes, I could see that. I could see the Alchemist Foundation to be able to empower youth so they could alchemize their life. So that's how I came to my purpose. It was through this meditation of what would I do? What would I feel if I was so free? And when you feel free, that's when you feel the most expansive. And there's nothing that encumbers you. There's nothing that you're attached to, right? When you feel freedom, there's no attachment to anything, any people, any money, any material things, any situations, right? Because freedom is freedom. And freedom is expansion. Freedom is growth. Freedom is meeting your full potential. That's what freedom is. And so that is sort of the exercise that I did. And I would take, and every day I would write. I mean, like I would write. I would take notes. I would ask questions. If I wasn't sure, then I'd ask questions. And then I read it. And then I'd ask more questions. And then I write things that would come, or maybe images that I had. I would write it down, write it down, write it down, write everything down. That's going to help you to get to embody to remember who you are, embody who you are. And that's going to help you to reveal that purpose. Reveal that purpose. What is that purpose? And when you meet that purpose, you're embodying your human design. You're embodying the gift of the talents and gifts that you are already given and your purpose. And when you embody that, that is when you really meet your full potential. That's when you really meet your full potential. Okay, so let me see if there's any other questions. Ella says, oh, transmute. That's right, Heidi, transmute. Oh, that's so great. Heidi says, my mind's happy place is on a mountain looking over a field of white daisies. That is beautiful. That is gorgeous. Wow. Heidi says, a mentor and founder of Boulder Psychic told me years ago when I was stressed about my purpose, told me to just be, to raise my vibe. Yep, just be. That's it. Just be. Very consistent. Very consistent. Was a very wise psychic. I resonate deep with alchemy. Oh, so do I. So do I, Heidi. You and I, we the same. I feel most free on nature, next to ocean and forest. I'm the same way. Nature always. That's why it's like I saw myself at the top of the Himalayan mountains, the highest peak on this planet, right? And I just saw myself unencumbered, detached. and just vibrating a frequency that is so high, just pure white light. It's like, and it's clear. The signal was just clear. It was like, shh, you want a clear signal, clear signal, clear signal. Because then the universe, you're not giving the universe mixed messages. You know what I'm saying? Okay, magnum opus, how to integrate my shadow. Okay. One of the best way to really integrate or face your shadow is to face it. So if you, let's say you have fear or you have some shadow work, you're dealing with shadow work, the best thing is to go, don't try to go around it, go through it, meaning that face it. When you face it, so you could do a meditation and you could see yourself as like a third eye witness facing that shadow. And you could speak to that shadow, communicate with that shadow. So, shadow, I acknowledge you. Shadow, I know you are here to teach me a lesson for my soul's expansion growth. Shadow, what is it? So look at your shadow from a third eye perspective, not from your perspective, because the third eye makes it neutral because you want to have a neutral, you want to be neutral energy with that shadow. Because if you start to say, oh, this shadow is bad, this shadow is evil, then you can't see it in an objective way. You're trying to pull the lessons out of that shadow. That shadow is there for a reason. So you acknowledge it and you communicate. You see as a third eye witness, say, shadow, what am I learning from you? That's what I would do. I would just face it. Okay. Okay, great question. Okay, so if no one else has a question, I'm gonna have to go because I have a really important meeting at 1 o'clock. It's 10 minutes from now, and I have to review some documents. So I'm gonna have to go. But this was a very powerful talk, and it's something that I'm going through right now. So it resonated with me even more is to how to really meet that full potential of who you are. So take this away, try the exercises, see how they work for you, and don't give up on yourself. I'm telling you, do not give up on yourself ever. Ever. Do not ever give up on yourself. So let's do a closing prayer. Dear God, angel, spirit guide, ascend, masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space on this topic of meeting our full potential, remembering who we are. I ask you to send beautiful reminders of who each one of these beautiful souls are. They are an infinite being of infinite possibilities, and they already have the gifts and talents and the high vibration frequency. They're already embodied. Everything that they need and want and desire is already within them. Allow them to let go of that mask and allow them to return home to their embodiment of who they really are. And when they can embody themselves in that state of being, we know that they're going to become such powerful manifestors, creators, such influencers, such impact in the world that they didn't even dream of. So we're so blessed to be able to discuss this topic, engage with this topic, to meet the full potential of every single person of who they really are. And so thank you so much. And thank you for your continued support, your good, continued guidance, your continued wisdom, your continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional love. And so it is. Much love and blessings to all of you. I love all of you. Bye.